I'm Demorris, and I have been attending Local City for about 10 months, actually regularly for about 10 months. Was initially invited by Pastor RJ, who I know as Mr. Denton. And I came to see him speak several times, but then in October, November of last year, I started coming more regularly. I do love some of the simple phrases like there's always hope and hope has a name and Local City is home. On the Sunday where Pastor Ryan began to talk about the mission trip to the Dominican Republic, I had no plans of attending. Service was over and there was a bit of meeting in the back in the lobby of the school, and I was on my way to the bathroom after church actually, and somehow got pulled into the meeting and started listening into what they were saying about attending Dominican Republic. I became more and more intrigued by the opportunity just to go and to witness for myself what it's like in another country, and how being a missionary, as a matter of fact, the name of my church growing up is Missionary Baptist Church, and being able to go on an actual mission trip and praying about it and asking God if this was something that He wanted me to do. And every time I asked that question, something else would fall into place. And then next thing you knew, it was time to go. Everything was paid for, and I was at the airport at 4 a.m. We talk about going on the mission trip, and you think about where you're going to be of help and where you're going to provide some support for a community that is in need. But actually the opposite happens when you see the smiling faces of those kids. They in turn help you, and they in turn provide for you just a sense of inspiration of the possibility and just the overall magnitude of God's love. The biggest takeaway for me is no matter what, there's always hope, there's always joy, and no matter what you're going through, there's always someone out there who is having it a little more rough than you, but yet every day they get up and they put a smile on their face and they thank God for that day. They thank God for that meal. They thank God for their existence. And I did spend a lot of time behind the camera taking pictures, and sometimes that's where I'm more comfortable. But one of the most rewarding moments for me is when I gave one kid the camera and showed that kid how to take a picture. And then they took the picture of me with a group of kids, and then I showed them the actual picture, and just the joy on his face and how it just lit up when he saw that he had actually taken that picture. That was the best part to me, and every time I look at that picture, I just smile and laugh because it really came out really well. The kid took a really good picture, and they took amazing pictures. So even the bad pictures on that camera to me are good pictures. And I'm not a young man, so I mean, I've had some ups and downs, but God is always amazing, and He has always carried me and taken care of me. And going on that trip was a stark realization that my life could have been so different. God can always open these doors if you allow Him to. And I would just go back to when I was working with Pastor Denton, Mr. Denton, RJ, at the school, and he talked about he was getting ready to start a new church. And I was like, wow, a new church? Yeah, okay, RJ. But he continued to invite me. But it was that invitation, that small invitation, that brought me in and brought me into a new family and a new church family. But it was that invite from Pastor RJ that got me coming to Local City and got me involved, and that involvement has led me to a trip to the Dominican Republic and learning how to serve and learning how to be a blessing, learning how to pray in public, and not be sort of bashful about it, and just letting everybody know that Jesus is King, and and God is everything. And remember, local city, there is always hope, and hope has a name, and that name is Jesus.